Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who don't know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a new low blow from FINRA, which could be a significant sign of desperation. We're also going to be looking at Tesla and potentially the best quarter deliveries in China that they have had, and so that could also be a significant catalyst in terms of the share price. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from CNBC, in terms of the stock market, the S&P 500 is little changed after hitting fresh record highs. So overall stocks have been fairly stable, but in terms of gold, this is continuing again to reach all-time highs, and today it's the 4th consecutive day of reaching new all-time highs. So congratulations to everybody holding gold. So let's now move on to have a look at the news with regard to Tesla. And so from stock market news here, we can see that Tesla is looking to get the best potential quarter in China, with expectations rising. So 4 analysts have also boosted their estimates for this Q3 delivery. Numbers are due next week, so we will be keeping an eye on that. And in terms of the Tesla Model Y, this now has a potential chance of becoming the best-selling car in the USA. So if we have a look at what it's in competition for, it's currently in 2nd place after the Toyota RAV4. And this is a diagram here looking at the new vehicle share registrations by model 2024 through to Q2. So again, tremendous progress here from Tesla. First thing I'd like to do is share a post here from Dan Ball from Real America, and what he has stated is that he would be looking to have another MMTLP segment on his show with a Congress member. So hopefully that does materialize. And let's now move on to have a look at the updates with regard to FINRA. And what Scott has stated here is that I know we are winning when one of the FINRA arguments in court has to reference his divorce case to make the argument as he in terms of to explain that Scott is an experienced litigator. So obviously Scott is not a qualified attorney, so I think FINRA are trying to convince the judge that he is a significant expert in the law. So he's also saying here it's a street fight since FINRA's attorneys are constantly belittling MMTLP investors, routinely stating that all the claims are frivolous. So he has attached the objection, so we're going to have a look at them, and we're also going to have a look at the response. So let's now have a look at FINRA's response in the United States District Court of Vermont, and what they have stated here is their opposition in terms of the memorandum of law in response to Scott's motion to exceed the page limit. So basically what they are saying is they don't want Scott to submit additional evidence. They think additional evidence is not relevant in the case. Looks like they potentially are running scared here. And further down they have stated here that the plaintiff is not the simple sailor in terms of an experienced plaintiff that he purports to be. So they should know that he's not a qualified attorney. If they are trying to paint him as a legal expert, then I think they need to work on this a little bit harder. They're saying he's a serial litigant in courts, but whether he is or whether he isn't, it's not relevant. But I don't know why they are stating this. They've also stated here the plaintiff's over-length reply is replete with arguments that are wholly irrelevant to any motion, and there is no justification for an additional 17 pages. So it looks like they don't want the judge to look at these 17 pages, because I'm sure there is something in there that is significantly incriminating. Now have a look at Scott's response in the United States District Court of Vermont, and this response is with regard to FINRA's objection to the extra pages of evidence that they do not want Scott to present. And what Scott has stated is that FINRA, or the defendants, have all got virtually unlimited resources, and the facts against them that have been stated in this lawsuit have had virtually unlimited horrific financial, legal and personal consequences for the 65,000 investors of MMTLP. So he's obviously referencing everybody out there. And he also states here that FINRA is now getting emotional over a few extra pages. So we wonder why. And he points out to what FINRA calls unnecessary historical arguments. So a historical argument in law is generally an important example of a precedent. So they are objecting to precedents, it looks like to me, because obviously a precedent is something that a judge generally uses in terms of his ruling to say, well, this seems to be like for like. So in point number 1, what Scott is also reminding the court and FINRA of is there have been 2 suicides, both of them US military veterans, whereas FINRA's attorneys are looking at condescendingly stating that everybody in MMTLP invested for a short squeeze. So in other words, they deserved what they got, but I think they are failing to obviously acknowledge the breach of the rules. They're failing to acknowledge obviously the other breaches of rules, as well as everything in terms of the 2 days of trading that have been denied. So he goes on to say that FINRA twice mentioned that it would raise immunity as a defence. So in other words, they're trying to act like diplomats here and saying, doesn't matter, we are allowed to break the law and we are above the law because we are immune. So that's going to be one of their defences that they have used in previous cases, so they're going to use that again. So Scott has taken that bait, and he states here that he's challenged FINRA's immunity defence early, thus preserving the issue for appeal. So in other words, either way, this will not be over after this case here. And in section 1, he states here, matters outside the pleadings from FINRA are attempts to mislead the court. And FINRA says Scott is an experienced litigator, even though he isn't. He's technically obviously a fisherman and a businessman, but he's not obviously an attorney. So FINRA is trying to paint Scott as some kind of litigious criminal. So in other words, a person who was criminally taking cases. I think that's a very strong allegation from FINRA there, and it certainly looks like a low blow as well. So a quick look at FINRA's legal proceedings references. So they're looking to try and tarnish Scott's image and reputation, and saying, well, this person is a person who forced a major car company to recall a defective pickup truck. So it looks like they didn't want the defective pickup truck to be picked up. So Scott was obviously in the wrong there. They also stated here that Scott filed a civil rights action against a police department. So again, this is something that is also highlighted there, but they are objecting to that and using that as an example. I'm not sure how that is relevant to MMTLP and the situation that we are looking for right now, but they are certainly using that. And then in section 3 here, wins for criminals are exceedingly rare at any level. Scott's victory was nothing short of a miracle. So and in having the best criminal lawyer using a profound NH Supreme Court ruling. So they're looking at Scott winning his previous cases and saying, well, obviously he is an expert. And after years of police departments hiding records on crooked and violent cops, it looks like Scott was successful. So hopefully he's also successful here again. They also go on to say that Scott used a Boston law firm to sue a fishing boat after sustaining a severe shoulder injury. So I think that what they're basically saying is, well, he's suing, you know, a fishing boat company, so that's proving that he's got experience in law. But obviously he's had a shoulder injury, and it looks like FINRA using this also to present to the judge to say, look, this is a person who's doing wrong things, but it doesn't look like that to me. And now I think another low blow, they're talking about his divorce proceedings. So whatever relevance that FINRA claims that the divorce is, we don't know, but they are presenting it, and they're showing that basically they're mentioning the divorce in the context of defending themselves from fraud, perjury by the employers, market manipulation, insider trading, securities fraud, money laundering, etc., which is all part of their legal strategy to talk about Scott's divorce. So again, I'm not sure what angle they're coming at, but that's what they're doing. And they've also stated here in terms of the next section that In terms of the correct accounts, they're stating here that one reason why this court should not listen too long to FINRA's arguments, because we're looking at approximately 656 days without explaining why MMTLP was halted and deleted. They felt comfortable bringing up Scott's previous legal entanglements, but they have failed to explain these simple points that Scott is asking for. And finally, at the end, in terms of the conclusion, Scott is stating that he will do better to keep his filing shorter, so he will try and work on that, but a few extra pages should not hurt. They should aid in the justice being done, hopefully. And FINRA have opened the door on Scott's history, and Scott now wants to close that door, so hopefully the judge sees sense and we do get some common sense in this response. And if you'd like to join us on our Discord and get access to the weekly watch list, as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts and also due diligence for breaking news and new stocks that we're looking at, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.